Okay guys, today I'm going to talk to you about capos. I thought I'd put a short video up here to explain what a capo is, how it works, and really what the benefit is of using it. I get there's lots of misunderstandings out there about capos and what they do, and essentially all the capo is it's a tool that we use that raises the key of the guitar, and that's it. That's all it does. And these are my favourite types. Can you see that there? These are my favourite types of capo, trigger capos. You just squeeze, there's a spring inside, and you just squeeze it and put it on the neck and then release. There's lots of different types of capos, but these are the best ones because they're just easiest to put on and off, and when they're on, they're quite secure. There's other ones that are sort of have got elastic in them. They're rubbish. They don't they don't really last. They're very, very cheap, but you'll buy several of them. I've had this one for years and years. I've got a silver one as well on one of my other guitars that I've literally had for about 25 years. The brand that I always recommend is Jim Dunlop trigger capos, just because they're built like tanks. So really simply what we do is we pull this and then we go wherever we want to put it on the neck. It doesn't really make any difference if you put it on this way or if you put it on that way. Can you see that? It doesn't really make any difference which way you put it on. It's personal preference. I prefer to put it on this way. The important thing is when you put it on the guitar, so I just squeeze it to open it up, and I'm putting it here on the 7th fret. When you put it on, it's really important that it goes down in a kind of in a way that's sort of uniform from beginning to end. Don't just put it on and then immediately let go. You need to take care in how it goes on the strings, otherwise it will bend the strings down and then that will make the guitar sound out of tune. So when you put it on, I always kind of get it in the middle and kind of pull the front down before you release the back, if that makes sense. So if we say that's the string, we want the capo to kind of sit on the strings, check it's kind of level, check that it's gone on like this. We don't want it to go on like this or like that. Yeah, we want it to go on flat and then release the handle, and the string will apply the tension in a way that doesn't put more tension on one string than the other. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So just take care when you put the capo on. I see a lot of beginner guitarists that just kind of get it in the right spot and just let go of the string, and then it can sound a little bit nasty when you start playing. The benefit of using a capo is it raises the key of the guitar, and what that does is it allows you to use different chord voicings than you would ordinarily be able to achieve, so you can get some really unique sounds. So I've just put the capo here on the 7th fret. So for example, let's check out this track. This is a Beatles track called Here Comes the Sun. Can you hear how instantly it sounds, that lovely twinkling kind of soft magical kind of sound that we just can't get in standard voicing? If I take the capo off, that song I was playing then, I was using a D shape, but because the capo was on the 7th fret, it had raised the key of the guitar. I was actually playing in A. The sound that was coming out of the actual guitar was A, even though I was using a D chord. And that was because the capo had allowed me to use a different chord shape to create a different chord voicing. If I hadn't been using the capo, I could still play A. I could play it down here just with a normal A shape that I'm sure you know. Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. So that's still the same chords, but can you hear how it's a different voicing? It doesn't sound anywhere near as sweet and interesting, So, sometimes we use the capo just to give us a different sound, but sometimes as a beginner guitarist we use it to make songs easier. So let's say, for example, the track I was teaching to a student a couple of weeks ago, which was Get Lucky. So that track is B minor 7, I think. yeah, B minor 7. And then, what's the next chord? E. So there's lots of big chunky chords there. B minor 7 bar chord. You know, way too difficult for a beginner guitarist to play. F sharp minor. You know, those bar chords, no chance that a beginner can play them. But the capo comes to the rescue, because we can put the capo on the 2nd fret, and then the capo is doing the job that the finger would do in the bar chord. Okay, so it's the same thing, it's just something pressing down on the strings. So what that means is, instead of playing that really difficult B minor 7 bar chord, you can just play an A minor 7. Really, really simple. And then the next chord up from that comes the C, and then here's the E minor, and then we can drop down to D, or if we want to make it easy, we can just play D sus2 with those 2 fingers. So all of a sudden that really tricky bar chord song has now just become really simple chords. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. Up all night. So can you see how much easier that the capo version is? You know, night and day. Really, really big difference. Sometimes we use the capo to make a track easier to play, just so we can put more musicality into it. You know, so with those simple chords, you can have lots of fun doing kind of deadenings and hammer-ons. Let me give you an example of that. So if I put the capo here on the 4th fret, so this is an Ed Sheeran track. So that's great fun to play. It's literally just 2 2-finger chords, an E minor chord, and then an A minor 7 chord. So 2 2-finger chords where one of them stays in the same place. I'm literally going from here to here, and then back again, there to there. But that wouldn't be possible to play that track in that funky, interesting kind of way, with that kind of musicality, if we didn't use the capo. If I take the capo off to play that track, I would have to play it like this. And again, for a beginner guitarist, that's just going to be too difficult to play. Okay, one last example. I've already gone too long on this video. I always do this. I get talking on something that I enjoy, and then the video ends up twice as long as I originally thought. One more example for you. So capo on the 2nd fret here. Another Beatles track, another sort of iconic song, Norwegian Wood. So can you hear how we get that really interesting again? You know, you might not be able to you know, verbalize what it is that sounds different there, but I bet you can tell that something's different, you know, and that's what it is. It's a different chord voicing. So capos are absolutely brilliant tools. Don't think of them as something that's like, you know, a sort of peripheral guitar accessory that we don't use that much. You know, my capo's never off my guitar. You know, a capo is an essential part of your toolkit as a guitarist. I just keep mine here on the headstock, along with this vibration tuner at the top, and it's never off the guitar. So I hope that gives you a better idea of what a capo is, what it does, and the type of scenarios where you can use it. They're really, really brilliant things, and they should you should definitely have one perched on the top of your guitar, and learn to play around with it, you know, and transpose the different keys. There's lots of other stuff on the site that will help you with that, and explains, you know, the sort of capo charts, how to move one chord and how it becomes another one depending on where it is. Tons of stuff on the site, so if you head over there, nationalguitaracademy.com, then you'll find loads of stuff on capos that will help. Okay guys, I hope you found that useful. and that you have a great week, and I'll catch up with you soon.